do, do. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the final Checkpoint podcast. This is episode number 84 on this very chill, relaxing Sunday. Why is it relaxing? I don't know. I think I'm just a bit tired, so I just decided to intro it this way because, you know, we're just on this magic carpet ride together now. I'm holding you all hostage. You're with me.
It's a whole new world with you, Joel.
It's a whole new world, including my lovely co-host, Ben Runnings. Ben, how's it going?
Yeah. We really fucked up the intro, but you know.
We're good. We're just keep
it's
rolling.
good.
Like Limp Bizkit, we're going to keep rolling.
Oh, come on.
What year is it?
Yeah, what year is it? Remember Limp Bizkit? Of course you don't.
Dude. Yeah.
Of course you don't. Why
Remember
would you?
Hyperscape? Of course you don't.
I mean, I could probably tell you more about Hyperscape than Limp Bizkit,
Oh,
but
boo.
that might just be because it's more recent. I was never into them. I wasn't against them.
I mean, was anybody really into Limp Bizkit, or did we just like some of the songs at the time, and now people are like doing that thing where they pretend they don't like the songs? The same, like they're doing it the same way they did Nickelback, because there's a couple Nickelback songs that I did like.
Sure. I think I remember the logo for Limp Bizkit more than I remember, or maybe I'm thinking like Slipknot. That might be the Slipknot logo.
Okay, what's another good.
I
choice,
was not
guess.
into that music, so
Okay.
it was a little too like let's just yell and vaguely rap while guitars play for me. Which I'm not against.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But this was just very, very aggro for no reason.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
So Ben,
Yes.
how was your week? How did it go?
It was good. This is my first week after I got promoted.
All right.
And
they
so I'm
fired
the lead. I know. So I've been fired. I'm the shift lead or whatever for the overnight thingamajig.
Cool.
And it's good. It was basically what I expected. I filled in when people were out before anyway, so it's not like I was surprised at what I was doing, really.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
You're not like walking in there like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it was one of those things like, go in on Monday, you're gonna get trained. And I was trained for maybe 30 minutes. Like,
all right.
Okay, goodbye.
Job's done. All right. Easy.
You know what to do. Just get out of here. So that's interesting and a fun kind of transition to see dealing with different management, because we had a management shuffle like 2 months ago also.
Oh, okay.
And dealing with that and just kind of how she is and how she runs things, since I've never had to officially been the shift lead. But it's fun. I like it. It's nice. It's a really good change of pace from what I was doing.
Cool.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Tell me about your weird vacation to whoever the hell you went to.
Yeah. So it feels like I was gone a lot longer than I actually was. I was only gone from Wednesday to Saturday, but I feel like I've been gone for like months. I don't know why. I came back, I'm like, I don't know how to do anything over here.
Who am I?
Like being away, like it's a true sign of addiction to your electronics when like I get back and I feel like I haven't seen my computer in so long. I'm like, how do I turn it on? Like it's just
What
weird,
is this?
This weird fogginess. And I was like in Texas, which it's in the same time zone that I'm in now. So it's not like I went across the country really. It is for me. It is. So the part I went to is in the same time zone.
Oh, there's mountain time in Texas?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So I went to El Paso.
Oh.
El Dang Durango. I went to just go visit some family out there. My parents were there, so I saw them too. It was pretty cool. It's nice to see. I mean, some of these people I haven't seen in over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So like all my little cousins are all like grown up and adults and have their own lives. So it was cool to see. Yeah, it's, the unfortunate thing is the flight back. I had my Switch ready. I was like, I'm going to get 4 hours of playing the Switch on this plane ride. It's going to be great. Switch is dead. I was like, what the fuck? I must have left it in sleep mode or something, like with the game on when I first flew. So the whole time I was in Texas, it was just dying because I never even checked on it.
It should last, but yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, there must have been a game running. Like, I must have left it in like sleep mode or something with the game on it. I just didn't think it would, I should have checked it the night before. I wasn't prepared. Yeah. And the house remodeling stuff continues, We discovered that there's a leak in the ceiling.
Good.
Because whoever worked on our last plumbing and set the tub in and everything, I think they fucked something up. And so I was downstairs cleaning out, I think I was just switching out laundry and noticed there's a big old puddle of water on the floor. And I'm like, that's not good.
That's not what that should be.
And I look up and there's like a drip coming out of the ceiling. I was just like, oh man, come on.
And that's in one of the bathrooms you haven't remodeled yet?
That's in my kids' bathroom that we just finished. So they set the tub, they did everything. Once they did all that, we did the tile and we installed the only thing we installed was the toilet, which it's not leaking right there because the toilet goes through a different pipe.
Right.
Or drain, I guess. This was definitely their work on the tub.
Yeah, because that was the only thing that they touched.
The only thing they touched, and it's directly right underneath it. And so I know it's them. So we're gonna call them tomorrow and chew some ass,
Good.
Chew
love that chew.
God, plumbing and plumbers suck, including Mario.
Yeah, that's fair. Good thing he's dead though.
That's true.
Did he not?
He didn't come back on Easter? Or that's some other guy.
No, that was Jesus.
Okay. Well, Jesus, you better not be a plumber.
He was a carpenter.
Carpenter. I was gonna say. Yeah, that worked out perfectly. Okay, cool.
It's close.
Well,
they didn't have a lot of indoor plumbing 2000
I guess
years ago.
that's true. Yeah, that's true. Cool.
That was the let's shit in a bucket and throw it in the street era, I think.
So I did want to bring up something else for my trip that I was kind of excited for going to Texas. I'm kind of like, there's got to be one of these food places that I just need to go to, right? And Whataburger was the one that I wanted, that was on the list. I made a tier list the other day, actually right before we left, and right before I left. And did you smack yourself?
Yeah, I just hit myself on this. That's why I needed to move it.
Yeah, probably. So I made a tier list. I left Whataburger off because I hadn't ever been there. And I went and I got a burger, which, it's a fast food burger, but it's not it doesn't taste like a regular fast food burger because of the type of buns that they use. Right. And it's freshly cut veggies. So you're not getting this slimy tomato or old lettuce. You're getting fresh ingredients, which I thought was cool. But the rest of the burger wasn't super impressive. We went back and got these, I don't even remember what it's called. It's a barbecue chicken. I'm going to call it just a chicken sandwich because it came on 2 pieces of bread and not buns. And it was 3 chicken strips with I think it was Monterey Jack on it and barbecue sauce. That was better than the burger. And their fries are decent. That's about all I had there. But it was cool to experience it. I think it's way overhyped. I think people from Texas are, sure. I know Andy Cortez on Kind of Funny talks about it. I don't know if he says it's good or not, but I know it's been talked about a lot. And I feel
it's been mentioned.
I feel like people overhype it a lot. And
yeah,
Whataburger, I'd rather go to McDonald's, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If I'm looking for a good burger. If I want to try that chicken thing again, maybe.
Sure. McDonald's, you don't really go to McDonald's for chicken.
Chicken nuggets.
Unless you're...
you go for spicy nugs.
Unless you're young, you like the McDonald's chicken.
Yeah. Although their new chicken sandwich isn't bad either. The new one that they made that is almost impossible to get on their app. It's just some luck of the draw. You get it.
It's just turning into Yelp reviews for various fast food chains.
It might, yeah. I might have to do another tier list. I had a good time doing that. Anyways. Anything else, Ben?
No, that's it. What the hell are we doing today?
I don't know. I do know that you can find this podcast, new episodes, old episodes, on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts, and at thegamefanatics.com. You can also find video versions of this podcast on youtube.com/loadlastcheckpoint. And you can also watch it live every, I guess, Sundays, because this is second Sunday that we've done it. We were going to try to move to Saturdays, but I think that'll happen eventually. Sure. Anyways, 8 p.m. Pacific time, twitch.tv/loadlastcheckpoint. We're also trying to hit a follower goal there of 130. We are at 125. Huge, kind of just a huge bump from the Gaming Morning Show community. So I want to say thank you to them. Make sure you guys listen to their show Monday through Friday. I believe it's 6 to 9 a.m. and that's 6 Pacific time. Yeah. Great community. I've enjoyed just kind of meeting the people there and hanging out with them in chat, and I've so many weird random things that we talk about because Gaming Morning Show will always have a theme for their episode. Like the other day was like a national, I think, pancake day, which is kind of perfect. Mm-hmm. So, because I like pancakes. Anyways, we had Mike on last episode. He was a fun guy to get to know. I really enjoy him. He's just really like sarcastic and funny. So make sure you listen to that episode. It's episode 83. And yeah, if we hit that follower goal, we're 5 follows away. You're going to get yourself some drunk Dark Souls. And boy, am I ready, because I'm starting to drink. Getting geared up,
I just started today for this.
I'm starting today. No, I didn't start today. But like now that it's getting hot and everything like that, it's usually when I do break out the beers and start drinking. So
I feel like drinking makes me hot.
I mean, it can. Definitely can. Yeah. But I'm excited for that, man. I can't wait to give you my update on Dark Souls, because I did play some Dark Souls today.
Ooh, okay.
But yeah, I will wait to tell you about that. Anyways, I think that's it. For the rigmarole. I don't think we have anything else on there.
No, there's nothing going on.
Yeah. Anyways, Ben, why don't you intro us into the news section here?
Okay. Do we like patch notes? Do we like calling the news patch notes? I like it.
I was always
love it.
I was thinking of like Ben's news discharge or something like that.
No, that sounds sticky.
Okay.
So let's not. Let's not do that. That's not the show for this. Maybe a different show can be the discharge.
The After Dark podcast.
The After Dark version of the show. Ben's News Corner has 6 pieces of news on it today.
Ben's newsstand. What if we did something like a newsstand? I don't know.
Ben and Jerry's newsstand. And ice cream emporium.
Ice cream. Oh, ice cream.
So the biggest piece of news we'll start with, which is the Sony article from Jason Schreier over on Bloomberg.
Oh, the Bloomberg.
Which I wanted to get the title of, which I'm pulling up now. Sony's obsession, I hit the fucking thing again, with blockbusters is stirring unrest within PlayStation Empire. And we got a lot of interesting little detail. Did you read this article?
I did not. I just kind of read what people were reacting to and just a few points that I got out of it. But I have yet to read it. I do want to read it, though. Sounds interesting.
Okay. It's a good, easy read. I think Kind of Funny Games Daily did a good job kind of breaking it down. Blessing basically read most of the article anyway, and then they discussed as they went along with it, which I worked pretty well, I think. The big takeaways is there is this team that I had never heard of. Let me get the name of it. It's kind of not even officially acknowledged, called Sony Corp's Visual Arts Service Group.
Why does it sound like they walk around and do surveys?
Oh, at the mall?
Like at the mall, or like they visit your house and ask if you have a PlayStation and then they leave.
And they leave. Like they leave. The Nelson Group?
Nope. No one here has a PS5.
Right, next house. And no one anywhere has a PS5.
Yep.
But this group would finish, help polish up games when they're close to release.
Okay.
And it's, from the sounds of it, it's a large team. A pretty large team that basically just comes in at the end to polish something up that last little bit to get it ready for release. They were given a task or a set of them split off, and they were going to remake Uncharted 1 for PS5.
Okay.
But then they're like, well, this is going to take a lot because you basically have to redo the entire game. It's so old, it's so outdated. They looked at instead remaking The Last of Us 1. And then a bunch of other shit happened because there was the turnover with Sean Layden
Hmm.
and then Herman Holst coming in from Gorilla. That kind of got shut down after they made more or less of a, not necessarily a prototype, but just like a proof of concept of it.
He
And
Hellman got in there and he's like, "We're gonna make
nah,
Killzone,
you're gonna make a Killzone.
flush this hit down the toilet and work on Killzone, please."
Yeah. And I'm trying to sum this up. Some of these details might not be 100% right because it is a little complicated and weird.
Yeah.
And the way the article's written isn't necessarily chronological in certain respects.
Okay.
So I feel like oh, that was that detail. It's weird. Um, then well, hold on, what happened? Naughty Dog was brought on. Essentially, Naughty Dog is working on the remake of Last of Us One right now, uh,
Okay.
instead of this group. And there was a lot of discomfort within that group that they were like happy to be making something of their own instead of just finishing things. And then now that got taken away from them. There was also Sony Bend, who did Days Gone, who pitched Days Gone 2, and that was denied. And they started working and helping along with this new um, Uncharted game. And
Oh,
then
like
that got
a
taken away. Yeah,
brand
that
new one?
got taken away from them. And then, so now they're working on something their own. But it's just this kind of story of Sony being really hung up on making the biggest blockbuster games and really worshiping Naughty Dog,
Yeah.
obviously, since everything in this is Naughty Dog. And to me, it just sounds like a Sony that is losing touch with what made PlayStation great. Uh, and I don't know, how do you feel about a lot of this? Because there's a lot in here,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, there isn't a lot in here in terms of actual tangible things. It's more of just the direction of this is interesting. This company,
Yeah, I think it really sucks for Sony Bend, who for years wanted to make their own game, finally got to make Days Gone, and yes, it wasn't as big of a hit as like, all the other games coming out around it, but I think from what people were saying overall about Days Gone after like the patches and everything, it was still like a 7 or an 8, like right in between that area. Probably more a 7, right? Which that does that I don't feel like that should mean they don't get another chance at it, because I think
hmm
from the conversations I saw on Twitter and other parts of the internet, it seemed like people were kind of like I liked some of the ideas in there and I would have loved to see them improve on it.
right,
So I think right away that sucks for Sony Bend, because now they're back to being like bitch boys, right? They're back to doing Sony's bidding, and they went from being able to work on their own thing to now like, well, we didn't do that good of a job. So looks like we got to eat some dirt in the meantime until we finally get another chance.
well, they are working on their own project now
Okay,
because they were taken off the Uncharted,
but not Days Gone 2, right? Or maybe a
not Days Gone
different
2.
version
Well,
of
I
it.
mean,
It
it could
could
be,
they could
but
but I guess their initial pitch was turned down. So maybe
yes,
they
2
needed to
years
go
ago.
and rework it, and I don't know. I think it. I mean, we're already getting the Last of Us TV show. We already got Last of Us Part 2, which was great, but like not entirely necessary. Although, don't get me wrong, it's still one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I just think they need to like leave it alone. Like, can we not? Like, can just leave it the fuck alone. We don't want to get tired of it the way we did. Like, I'm already tired of seeing Spider-Man everywhere. I'm tired. Like,
Sure.
God of War that came out in 2018. I'm already tired of seeing it. I love that game. I love the soundtrack for it, but I see that fucking game everywhere on Twitter, and I'm just kind of like, can we be done? And
Fair, yeah.
and yeah, this could be Sony being dumb old Sony with the bad messaging that they've always kind of had, and except when they did get it right with like just games at E3s, the Sean Layden era, it seemed
Yeah.
like. I mean, this could. It's just so hard to tell right now because everything's so like. It seems like there's so many things that are just kind of like hidden away because of the whole COVID thing, and with PlayStation 5's not being able to like be purchased anywhere easily. So it seems like just a lot of plans are getting scrapped for them, and maybe this is like they have to make these shitty decisions and shitty things because like their plans went down the drain when COVID
Sure.
hit. That could very well be it, but I mean, Sony's been going in this direction with their messaging and with their handling of the PS5 and the way it integrates with PS4 stuff and all that shit in a really crappy way. So this is totally a believable thing that they're just like so in love with The Last of Us and Naughty Dog that they want to remake a game that came out not that long ago, technically.
8 years ago. Something
Yeah,
like
plus
that.
the remastered edition that came out to PS4, and then like we don't need it. It's just, I mean, I just, I don't know what they're doing, man. It's
I
so weird.
so there's a couple things with the remake. If they were to finish this around the time that the HBO show comes out,
Mm-hmm.
that's a really nice synergy.
Yeah, sure.
Obviously, I do think The Last of Us One feels old, and could use a lot of the updates to the gameplay mechanics that they added in, like the jumping and the dodge roll, kind of lay on the floor nonsense.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that would change the game or really be necessary. I mean, would you then remake the entire game because none of the areas make sense in the same way?
Yeah, if you're adding all that, then you have to kind of build the game to also
Yeah, allowed for that.
allow for that stuff.
Yeah. I do regret not mentioning this like a month ago when I thought of it that they were going to remake this game with the second one and then package it together. God,
I mean,
could have been so smart, and then I didn't say anything.
yeah. Like I can understand why Capcom remade Resident Evil 2, right?
Sure.
Because that's an old game.
Right.
And the new remake of it is fucking amazing. There's Last of Us isn't old enough. Like
I
why?
don't know what their thought is. It really comes down to I think it might be that HBO show. It
Maybe.
really might be the let's put this out on PS5, make it look as good as the other one, have the patch ready for the PS5 version of 2, and then if people want to do it because of that makes total sense.
I
All
guess.
this
Yeah, that's
other
true.
stuff, like I think people are getting hung up on we don't need them to do that. Like, fucking do whatever they want. Who cares?
I mean, that's
I,
true.
I
Yeah.
I'd be fine if they remade uh here's my hypothetical example. If every Nintendo console since the N64 had a touched up, retextured, new 3D model version of Ocarina of Time, I'd be into that.
Mm.
Then we'd have the GameCube version that's a little better, and then the Wii version was probably worse, and then the Switch version, which is even better. Like, it'd be cool to have a game that was just kept getting updated every 5 years to be more modern.
Okay.
That's something we've never had before, and that might be something we actually want in the grand scheme of things for not every game, but for some games. Like imagine you're playing Dark Souls. Imagine if Dark Souls was updated 5 years ago into the Dark Souls 3 engine, and then this year it comes out in like the Sekiro engine, and you could see it's like so much more updated. It's the same game, but it's just brought into the modern era a little bit. And I think that's something we should encourage. Just this idea of making a game. It's kind of like a living, like a live service game or an MMO that keeps getting updated, but it's for a single player uh, game.
Yeah.
Now, is that cost effective? Probably not. But that's a separate thing. I think the biggest thing to me with this story is just, especially when you read it, this idea of we're not gonna do the little weird games anymore. We're only doing the big AAA Naughty Dog games, and we've already had the discussion about are all PlayStation exclusives the same game, where it's this third person action narrative open world shooter half the time. Like all those games are the same. You look at even, I mean, we're not getting Days Gone 2, I guess, but Days Gone to Horizon to The Last of Us. I guarantee you, I could show you a screenshot from Horizon that would look like Days Gone,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, is that Days Gone?" And then you go, "Oh no, that's Last of Us. Oh no, wait, actually that's Horizon." Like you could easily trick someone into doing that, and even now, God of War is looped into that, where
Yeah.
it's just the same over the shoulder action, and these games are great. All these games are great, but they're all the same.
Hmm.
And at a certain point, have they put anything out in the last 5 years that isn't that? Besides Dreams, which is an anomaly.
And is dying. Because they should have
That's a
ported it to PC.
whole separate
Yeah.
issue is Dreams. Uh, but yeah, but besides that, what do they do? And I think they've seen in recent years stuff like what was the Medieval, which is not a good game, and that remake was very well done. But that's a bad game.
Hmm.
I don't think that performed well at all. You had Concrete Genie, which I think is one of the most overrated games. People love that game. That game is 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not that good, and I can't believe it got a physical release. I can't believe it even got marketing or any like. That's I think what has made Sony gun shy for this. They need those big titles,
Yeah.
and they've tried with these other things for years since the PS3, and they've really gotten nothing but, "Oh, man, I love Patapon." It's like, well, Patapon sold, like, 5 copies, like, no one cares enough. People care about these other titles, so they're gonna make those titles, and
Yeah.
I think the problem with that is what people are upset about. It's like, you kinda gotta have both. You can't just always shoot for the moon. You have to have these little satellite missions to the space station.
Yeah. Well, like, I think that's something I respected a lot of old Sony is like they would always have these weird ass titles
Yeah.
on like the PS3 that were always kind of like they probably didn't sell very much, but man, was that a cool game to experience. And you just don't get that anymore now. Like and I feel because now they've got um Xbox on on their heels just like we've got
Yeah.
all this good shit over here, man. We've got all this good shit over
That's
here.
the other
Like
piece of
they
this puzzle.
yeah, like they're probably just like afraid to make a bad move, but they're doing it all the time with their messaging and their marketing.
Mhm.
I mean, the best way for them to really talk is to fix their fucking PS5s so that they don't work all weird when it comes to downloading a PS5 version of a PS4 game or whatever.
Oh, that's never gonna get fixed. Guarantee you that's
Oh
never gonna get
gosh.
fixed.
And then the issue with like I guess their controllers have a drift issue now, like all these weird like it, they need to go back to being that gamer friendly like company
Yeah.
that was all about the games and all about making it easy for the consumers. And now it's just like weird messaging all the time. I guess like I don't really care about this Last of Us. Like they could remake the game. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like if it's gonna sell, it's gonna sell, and it's resources that aren't taken up from like a different company that should be working on like their own IP or like a title we already know they should be working on. Um, I wish they were remaking other games like the Resistance
Right.
Collection or like maybe even Kills. Fuck it, remake Killzone. I don't give a shit. Like if you're gonna be working on legacy IPs, like why not dig a little deeper than fucking The
Then
Last
4
of
years
Us?
ago.
This is weird. It makes sense though. I mean, they're probably putting a lot of like money on The Last of Us on HBO,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they really want that to resonate with a audience that's not into video games, and maybe that'll hopefully bring them over. And then they see, oh, there's a video game, The Last of Us, and it's new and it's remade. Cool.
New air
It
quotes.
says remake here. Well, whatever. Let's play it. And
That's
then
close
they
to
like,
new,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird. We'll
I
see.
I I do I'll go back to a point you were making with Xbox. With these smaller titles that Sony used to do, we get Game Pass and we get Xbox buying all these places, and we can get a Grounded out
Yeah.
of them, or a Sea of Thieves, or Ori, and like all these titles that are AAA or single A or like whatever. And I think on this podcast called Married to the Games, which is really good.
Oh yeah, I used to
Um,
listen to those guys.
really, really good. So Chris on there had a really excellent diatribe, I guess, on this very issue this
Mhm.
week that was so good, and I encourage people to go listen to that. But it's basically what we're saying. Like, this is how, or what I will say now, this is how you lose the generation. Like, this is potentially, with every good move Microsoft is making, everything positive, everything sunshine and roses over there with Xbox news for the last 4 years, basically. At a certain point, the dominoes start to fall the other way. And Sony is going to find themselves in a really bad position in 2 years when Bethesda games start being exclusive and all these other titles hit from Xbox Game Studios. And they're over here like, well, we remade The Last of Us 1. Things could start looking really bad because they've set themselves up to look so out of touch and just focused on their own shit. They're
Mhm.
not listening to us, it seems, at all.
Yeah.
And we are the consumer base. We are the people hunting for these PS5s. Why would I hunt for your product if you just seem so disinterested in giving me what I want? And it starts to be that slippery slope of, oh yeah, I bought a PlayStation, I buy my third party games on PlayStation, yeah, da 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 da, to, oh yeah, I got a PlayStation for Uncharted and Last of Us and whatever, but I play everything on my Xbox because of Game Pass and all these other things. Bethesda's there now, yeah, and then that just shifts over, and now you're like, yeah, I turn the PlayStation on every once in a while to play Uncharted 4, whatever,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then that's how you lose. That's how you lose that shift of time. Xbox has been playing the long game, and the more we get into their Big Phil's crazy takeover of Xbox, the more we see it and that vision. And man,
It's
they've been
paying off.
playing 4D chess for like 7 years now
Yeah.
almost, and it's about to pay off. I think in the next 2 years, we are going to see some crazy switcheroo going on.
Yeah. Yeah. I still don't think they'll sell many consoles, but I think they're gonna get more and more people into Game Pass and more
Yeah.
people playing in their ecosystem. And I mean, I feel like the games I play the most aren't really Xbox games. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe Outriders is the most I've played, and that's only because it was free on there and only because it's on an Xbox and I can't play it on my PC. Only
Right.
reason really. Like other than that, there's not a whole lot that draws me there yet. And
But
but it's an
you didn't have an
unfamiliar.
Xbox.
I didn't until a couple years ago, but even then,
Right.
like the only real titles that really resonate with me that much are like Halo 2 and Gears 1 and 2, and it's just like I go to play those. Well, I go to play like Halo, at least I find it boring. Gears I like. I To me, Gears is more valuable than Halo, even though like that doesn't seem like it. Like to me, for like when you look at the legacy of their system and a title that hits and hits and hits, I always think Gears to me is the better of the two, but Halo's always gonna have the big Halo like fan
It's got the
base that
nostalgia, yeah.
it does. I really just want to see Infinite do something really good to impress me, to bring me over in that.
Here's
But
hoping, man.
here's hoping. But yeah, Xbox, man, they're killing it. Like it's just crazy to think about like how Sony was doing so well last generation, and this generation they're just like shitting. They're like that person that's just so old that they're just shitting themselves. Like they're
Just
just
so old.
like it's too late. He's just shitting himself in bed.
It's
Like
too far gone.
too far gone, Sony.
Yeah.
I still want Demon Souls.
I will still definitely play Demon Souls.
Still play Demon Souls, yeah.
100%. That's the only reason why I want the console.
Same. And for Returnal.
Yeah, I'll play that. Gamefly.
Gameplay.
You put on there what more recent remake would you want to see from the PS3 era? Do you have an answer for that?
Mine was mainly Resistance 1, 2, and
Okay.
3. Because I never got to finish 3 because that's when my PS3, like the disk drive died.
Right.
Um,
Just blew up.
I don't know what happened to it. But
It's like, man.
Resistance 2 and 2 especially was one of my favorite titles from the PS3 era. And 3, I heard 3 was better, and I started playing it, and what I played of it, I was like, it's pretty good. I just didn't get that much farther into it, unfortunately.
I think I'd pick. See, the PS3 to me, when I think of exclusives, we already got Demon Souls, so I
True.
can't pick that.
Yeah.
I think I'd go with Metal Gear Solid 4 just because it's trapped on there,
Yeah.
and I want that. Now that's not really under their control, but that's the game. That is one of the biggest titles on there that is from a massive franchise you cannot play anywhere else, and it
Mm-hmm.
sucks.
Very, very true.
Okay. Actual news story too. We got some news about E3. Obviously, it's all digital. Um, more details forthcoming, but Nintendo is involved. Microsoft is involved. Sony is not involved. Not surprised about there. They weren't involved the last 2 years anyway,
Yeah.
or 3 years, or however many years. I don't really care about E3. I do think E3 is irrelevant in the larger sense. You'll see a lot of podcasts. This is really interesting. If you listen to a lot of podcasts from like IGN and the big outlets, you'll hear this like, "Oh man, I miss E3. I miss going there." Da, 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 da. And then if you listen to podcasts that just are like more fans or aren't as into the industry, they're all like, "Who cares?" And it's such a funny little
Mm-hmm.
dichotomy there. And I think it comes down to something that people did bring up this time is the networking and the meeting of people. And I think that's so stupid. You don't fucking need this. If you want to have a meetup between people, have a meetup. It doesn't need to be also the developers are there showing demos and having press conferences and you're meeting your friends from game developers. Like this seems like a weird thing for the show to be both to me. And it doesn't need to be that. That's like a happenstance thing. You can't say E3 is good because you get to see your friends who happen to be there.
Yeah.
That's like saying you like Disney World because you went with your aunt and you like your aunt. Like that doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
is E3 good or do you just like the people you see there? And in terms of is E3 good and do we need it? I don't know. I do like a centralized location for all these things in terms of time. So it's not 17 months like it was last year, but I don't know about this E3 and the ESA just doesn't they're less with it than Sony. So
Yeah. I think that a lot of what we're gonna see there is a lot of announcements or reveals or CGI trailers with no release dates or very vague
mhm.
release dates because I don't think anything's coming out. I think so many developers are
Yeah.
probably having to change or scale back on a lot of what they're doing to try to make it like playable on last gen because of the outlook on getting new consoles. So they're probably just holding stuff back or delaying plenty of things, or maybe they're just holding off on their current projects to like wait for more people to get the new consoles. But like, I just don't feel like we're gonna see a whole lot of stuff, and it's hard to already be excited about something you know is gonna be like nothing's coming out. Like all these announcements they're gonna have, like if Xbox goes, like we already know Halo Infinite's coming. We already know that Bethesda's working on these two projects that are going to take years and years to come out, like Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. So nothing to look forward to there. Um like it's just weird to kind of like get excited for something you know isn't that hopeful to really like give you anything promising to look forward to when nobody can get their hands on a console, when everything's been delayed and everything's been pushed out. So I always like the conferences, especially when like Sony
Yeah.
would do their kick-ass ones, and I just like to see what people bring, you know. And it kind of sucks that Sony isn't there still because that's all part of the fun is seeing their conference, seeing everybody do like their own just like our turn to bat, and then Nintendo's
Right.
like here's our goofiness and
Here's our bad. It's a
fucking
banana.
yeah,
All
here's a
right.
banana that Donkey Kong slipped on. What a crazy man. Just But other than that, I don't watch any other real parts of E3 anyways, like all the developer interviews and shit cuz most of those guys are fucking boring to listen to.
It's fun. It's funny looking at E3, especially in a year where we didn't have it, how kind of self-indulgent it is.
Mm.
And I don't know if we really need it at all. And I think a lot of people that are missing it, they don't miss
Uh,
E3. Like I
Like
said,
yeah, let
they
those
miss
people
their
work.
friends, they miss doing interviews, they miss doing all that stuff. And like that is not predicated on E3. It was just a nice convenient that everyone was there, but this is a global society, and everyone is flying to LA for no fucking reason in June. Like,
Yeah. I
uh,
wonder. I wonder how much extra just like shit E3 and conferences like that throw into people's plans, right? Like developers and like
a
their
lot.
because I mean when you think of the whole thing that happened with Anthem is like how they had to scramble to get some sort of like announcement together. It's like what if they just worked? Let these people
Right.
work so they don't
That
have to
was the big
crunch.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, because if not, they're gonna end up crunching, and then we're gonna get a news story about that. This is just
Mm-hmm.
games journalism fueling their fucking train
Yeah.
right now.
We hate E3, but also we want it to be there so we can go. All right.
Exactly.
Okay. Uh, well, speaking of something you might see at E3, Deathloop got delayed, so it was going to come out in May. It actually
Bummer.
was going to come out in 2020, and it is delayed to September 14th. I still don't really care about this game. I just don't. There's something about it to me that
I'm
I'm not in it.
I'm excited for it. I think it looks very like Dishonored, but I like the twist that it has
Right.
and the style and the freaking song from the trailer. I mean, it's all to me. It's all bringing me in. Whether I get excited and play it on release, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm sure it's only going to be on PC Game Pass, I'm sure, so I'll play it there, I guess.
Yeah,
But certainly
we'll
like I
see.
play it on PS5, I can't find.
Yeah, my picture of my
Or for
PS5, I'll play it on.
or my $70 game. Like, that also doesn't seem like a $70 game to me for some reason. Just,
Mm,
I don't know. Neither does Ratchet though. So
That's true.
$70 is a lot of money for these
You know,
games.
it seems like to me like $60 for a game is still like kind of like, oh, do I really want to do that? And then
Yeah, that was a lot.
it's a lot for like a game that you're not 100% sure you're gonna love, right?
Right.
There's a few games that I've purchased full price, knowing well like I'm gonna play the shit out of this, but then you have those games you're just like, I'm not sure if this is worth 60 or 70, and eventually 80.
Right. Right. Yeah. We'll see. News item 4 is just a little update since I kept forgetting to actually talk about this. Um, on the Hogwarts Legacy issue that we talked about a month ago now,
Yeah,
with the not lead designers,
yeah. They ever
the
correct
creative,
that?
the creative director or whatever. I guess I should find the actual the actual name of the thing person. Anyway, just a little update because we were talking about that when it was kind of breaking,
Yeah.
and there have been no updates on any of the articles that on Kotaku or Polygon or any of these things. There is one.
I know I've seen at
Uh,
least one outlet correct it, but I don't think the other ones give a shit. It seems like
Here you go. IGN.
good old IGN.
The only website I looked up: GameSpot, IGN, Kotaku, and Polygon.
They're
So
the
the
only
big,
ones.
I would consider the big ones, right? You know, that's the IGN's the only one that updated.
Good for you, IGN. That's why I always go to them for my wiki guides and stuff
Uh huh.
because they're always
I'm sure
reliable.
that's the same team. They left the
Maybe.
original. He's a senior producer. That's what I was trying to find.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, so that's nice. Then my problem with this is what I brought up back at the time is in a year when this game's closer to release and we get a cool new trailer and people are like, "Oh, that Hogwarts Legacy. Oh, wasn't there something? Was there some controversy?" And they look it up and they're gonna find all these wrong articles because no one updated fucking anything. And that, like, you call yourself journalists? Come on, man. That update your IGN did it. Everyone makes fun of IGN,
Which
but
is
it turns
crazy.
out
I love
they're
IGN.
the best. Turns out they're the best.
Yeah.
They actually updated their article. They updated the headline. They updated the strap line. Like, they actually did it. That and for everything that Polygon does and Kotaku with their constant just nonsense sometimes, update your fucking articles, man.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just leave factually wrong information out there forever. And that's my problem with this. I could care less about this game, really.
That's true. Yeah, I don't know. They probably don't care. Like, it's not getting clicks anymore. They're not gonna go back and correct it. They don't give a
No,
shit.
it's just the idea that that's a bad precedent
Oh
to
yeah, for
have
sure.
for any article, for anything. You can't just have things that are wrong forever because like I said, in 5 years, if you go back and look at this up, you're not going to know
Yeah,
that this is wrong, that this didn't even happen the way it's being broken down. And that's how a bunch of misinformation just persists forever because a lot of people only read the headline and they just move on. So you gotta fix your shit. You gotta fix your shit. That's what I'm
true,
saying.
true.
Update your articles when you're wrong and don't act like you're holier than thou on Twitter all the time, not naming names. But it's one of the three I mentioned.
Name them. Just kidding.
Kotaku.
Okay, there we go. I figured.
And Polygon probably too. And I like them, but like, fucking do your job. Like, if that was my article and that came out, I would update it because it's like, oh, this is wrong now.
Yeah,
Don't you have any integrity? Update your fucking article.
get them.
Ridiculous. I'm gonna add them on Twitter. That's what I'll do.
There you go.
Let's do the rumor first. Where did you see this rumor? What's going on?
So, oh god, now I gotta find the source.
Oh my god, it doesn't matter.
So, anyways, oh, you know who brought it up? Maddie plays and Dustin from Sacred Symbols, like those guys. So they were talking about how there was a rumor about Persona 5 Royale coming, or Royal, whatever, coming to Xbox, PC, and Game Pass. They also talked about the possibility of a Bloodborne update. So this person that is tweeting these was correct about a few things already. So they're kind of like watching his tweets, and they're kind of like, I mean, he's been right about a lot of the things that he's leaked or at least tweeted about. Like he was the original guy that tweeted about what's it called? Kingdom Hearts coming to Epic Game Store and the Neo collection when it was initially a rumor. So they're saying he's a believable, reliable source essentially for leaks like this or rumors. So I just thought it was interesting that Persona 5, a former, exclusive to Sony, would be coming to PC, and then not only that, to Game Pass. Supposedly, it would, on release of the PC version, it would be coming to Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate. Which is, I mean, I could kind of see it happening with the fact that Persona 4 Golden made it to Steam. It's a possibility. Right. It's just
interesting.
Yeah, it's it'd be cool. I think it'd be great to see that game get more. I don't know. Do we want it to get more fandom? Because some of those guys are kind of obnoxious, but
no, I do want to play it eventually one day, and I've bought it twice now at this point because I bought the original and I have Royal, and I don't know if I ever will. I don't.
Oh, you have Royal? You bought it?
Yeah, it was on sale a while back, so I got it.
So, I'm like really tempted to buy Strikers.
Right.
I listened to the I think it was, oh god, someone's GameSpot's? I think it was GameSpot's spoiler cast about it. Which didn't,
so you watched the spoiler cast for it?
Well, they didn't spoil, like, they didn't go over like story moments. They just talked about the game, and like I felt like even if they were to say something, I'd forget it anyways.
Okay.
But everything they talked about the game, I'm like God, this makes me want to buy it. Like everything they said, because even though it is a Muso, it doesn't play like Dynasty Warriors or even like the Legend of Zelda one. Like it just plays so differently because of they worked with Atlas to make it more RPG-ish, so it just plays really different. And yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be cool. I've been tempted, and I think if anything, I'd get it on Switch over PC just so I can put more hours into it.
I don't know if I want it on PC, just because it seems like the Switch or like on a quick resume thing on the Xbox seems like the best case scenario for this game,
Yeah.
where I can pop back in real quick and bounce. But turning on my PC, it's plugged into my TV. I gotta sit down. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever be ready to give Persona 5 another playthrough. Just too long.
Did you see Jonathan Norbush and is it Tom Marks, right? Are doing a Persona 5 show podcast. So
Oh, jeez.
they'll play the week and then that's that week's podcast. You know what I mean? Like, so it started this week.
Oh,
Like
really?
this is the first week in the game. So the first podcast is the first week of the game. They play through that and then they stop and then they play through the next week and that's next week's. So if I ever do, I'd listen to that because that'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And it did make me consider it, but I just don't. I don't know. Maybe I still will, but it's a commitment. It's a commitment.
Yeah, that's quite a commitment. Oh my gosh. I mean,
We'll
it sounds
see.
pretty cool though. I
It's a good
might
idea.
I might listen to a couple episodes once they have them up just to like see what it's like.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
And maybe it'll help me do it because I've been thinking about playing it like on a Saturday. Like I'm just gonna every Saturday I'm gonna play it for 4 hours or something, right?
Yeah.
And just do that every week until I beat it in like a year. Um, but
It's a good game. It's too long. It's too long
way
for
too
me.
fucking
At
long.
this moment in life, it's too long for
But
me.
it's
I
not, no,
can't
see,
do
it's
it.
not that it's too long. It's that it takes too long to do anything. Like the problem isn't that the game's 150 hours. Like if you had because Diablo 2 could be 150 hours and you'd love every second of it, but that doesn't like what you're doing in Persona is so belabored.
Yeah.
It takes so long to get there, and there's so much padding of nonsense. That's why it's so long. So if you trimmed the fat out of it and made like a 60-hour game, guarantee that's a better game.
But all the
Yeah.
nonsense is the fun part. We get to do
No, no, the
the hanging
nonsense
out
I'm
with
talking
friends stuff.
no, that's not the nonsense.
Oh, what are you talking about then?
The nonsense is having what's his name? Ryuji bicker to himself for 5 minutes
Oh, yeah, yeah.
every hour. It's like I
Just
don't need
I
that.
think you can speed through a lot of that stuff though.
But you put it in the fucking game. So
Oh,
it
yeah,
should
yeah,
be
yeah.
good and not
That's true.
garbage.
I agree. Games to me, games are too long. And that's just cuz of the amount like I don't have a problem with a 120-hour game. The problem is how long it takes me to get those 120 hours currently is too long.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be careful what I choose to play right now.
Right.
Because there's just not a whole lot that gets finished.
Although now's a good time since there's nothing coming out.
Even with that, I wish I had more time.
Sure.
And I wish I was so busy doing like important stuff, but I'm
you're
not. I'm taking care of a dog. I'm doing baseball stuff,
Right.
which is fun. I do find that very fun. But yeah.
All right. Final piece of news isn't news, but it's the part of the show where we talk about TV shows and things.
Yay.
I can't think of any. Oh, Mortal Kombat's next week, so I'm gonna watch that. I think it's next week
I did
or
watch
the week after.
I watched
It's the week
Godzilla
after.
versus King Kong, which I know you watched.
Did we talk about that?
We didn't. I hadn't seen it yet.
Oh, okay. So
It was fine. I didn't really
that was
like.
fine.
I was like the whole time. I'm like, what is this? What city is this that's just being destroyed?
Hong Kong.
It looks like the inside of someone's computer.
It does.
And yeah, I mean, I didn't get the whole like the daughter's part in it. What the fuck was the point of that? With the weird podcasting guy
Oh yeah.
and the friend who I think is the villain or the evil kid from Deadpool 2 who had the fire
that's
hands.
right.
So
Is
that guy was funny, but
Tap water. Yeah.
yeah, tap water. There's just I don't know. I mean, the movie was okay. I was really like this is a matchup I've been like wanting to see since I was a kid when I used to watch the old Godzilla movies and the one King Kong movie I had seen at that time where he looked so shitty.
Yeah.
And I feel like it just didn't live up to the long awaited matchup for me.
Okay.
But it looked good. Like I thought visually it looked great. I just think the fight was kind of lame.
The fight was lesser than I would have liked, although there were many moments I really enjoyed in it.
Yeah.
I
There's a few good
think
ones.
people brought this up, like the scale of it. I think they could have pitched the camera down and had it be more of a man on the street camera angle for
Yeah.
some of it, and that would have been really cool. Because it was just kind of
Just a
almost like
mess.
Power Rangers, where they're just people standing in the street. Like, oh, this
Yeah.
the scale is all weird.
I don't get
Um,
why like to me, and this is something that happens in like Power Rangers and other things, like just because they're giant, everything's slow. Like it seems so laborious to like have to punch somebody.
huh.
Like it's this giant and I'm just the whole time I'm just like tired. I'm like, this is exhausting to watch. This poor
It's
man. Stop punching.
I think that's kind of cool, although I do wonder if that's even real. Like, if you were 700 stories tall, would you punch slow or not?
Yeah, wouldn't you punch just as fast, if not faster, because of the amount of force and velocity you have in the
I
air?
think maybe the weight would weigh you down, though. So
Oh,
I'd
gravity
imagine,
maybe?
yeah, yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
I liked the movie a lot in terms of what I wanted from it, which was just a dumb Godzilla versus Kong thing.
Yeah.
I think this was the best implementation of people in these films, because that's kind of the critique of like there's too much of the humans.
I liked everybody else. I just didn't like the that whole part with like the daughter and the pot like didn't seem as important to the rest of the movie as the people that were trying to handle Kong.
Sure. I yeah.
That
I
poor
like it.
dad was always stressed out. I felt bad for him. Like, man,
He's very stressed. Yeah,
this poor man.
he's very stressed. He's in like 2 scenes. He doesn't need to be in the movie at all.
I know.
Yeah, it is weird. You forget he's in the movie because he disappears for an hour.
He's the most
Uh,
forgettable actor too in the world because he's in like
he
so
just
many
looks like a
things,
dude.
and you just look at him, you're like, what else were you in? You've
He
been in
looks
like
kind
so
of
many
like
things.
Nathan Drake.
Kind of, yeah.
Kind of. I mean, kind of.
He always looks like the sun's in his eye.
Yeah, he does. It's like, oh, there's something in the. Hmm. I liked it though. I think it's very, very, very watchable. It's a fun. Just turn off your brain and
Yeah.
it was good.
I'd watch it
I
again.
enjoyed it.
I'd watch it again. It was enough entertainment where I'd watch it
Right.
again. I just like, I don't know.
And it was fast
the
enough
whole-
to where
I don't know what I was
it's not like a
expecting.
2.5 hour movie of this. It's sub 2 hours. It was very quick, very much like, oh, we're doing dumb garbage. Okay, and then it's over.
Yeah.
It was nice. Are you? I'm not caught up with Invincible. I haven't watched the newest episode.
I think I'm on episode 4 because I just started watching. So I watched the first episode like last
Okay.
weekend, and then I watched 2 through. I think maybe I finished 4.
4 is the one that I don't remember.
Okay, I might be either on that one or just finished it. Pretty sure. But I'm really liking it. I think it's like you don't
Oh yeah.
like at first I'm kind of it's just like a comic book cartoon, and then like the more you get into it, the more you realize like, well, it's very graphic. There's a lot of like bad language, and then I'm like, damn, this story's getting really good. Like, what's going on? Like, something interesting.
So the fourth one is the one where they go to space.
Okay, so I did watch that one. Yeah.
Okay.
Where they go to Mars and he comes back.
All right.
Yeah.
I was being vague in case you didn't know they went to Mars.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I think the show's great. I mean, I'm gonna after this podcast, I'm watching the 5th episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably watch it.
So
tonight.
I started reading the comic.
Oh.
And I'm like 12 issues in, and I think the next episode is the issue I just read. It's like a pivotal moment with it.
Interesting.
I gotta say though, I saw it coming. There's a throwaway line of dialogue in the show
Yeah.
in episode 2, I think, that I was like, oh, that's what's going on, and that's what ended up going on in the comic. Like, okay, cool, that's what we're leading to. That I'm not super happy about. Also, comics suck. Gotta tell you, comic books are not very good. the show is so much better than this comic.
Yeah,
So
I've
much
always
better.
I've always had a hard time reading through comic books. Like manga, for some reason, I can read easier
Same.
than comic books. I don't know why. That's so weird, but like
I
it's
don't know why.
true.
I agree 100% though.
I think they just do it better. Even the action scenes, like it's just better,
I agree. I 100% agree.
and the art style.
Yeah, manga's better. Manga's better than comics. I feel like comics
Yeah,
get caught up in like the inking and all this other bullshit. I'm like, just tell a good story. Comics
yeah,
are so beholden to the delivery mechanism of 16 pages or whatever it is, and they just feel like they have to have a beginning, middle, and end a lot
hmm
of times, and it ends up making your story really dumb when you have to have plot lines appear for 2 pages, get resolved 2 pages later, and then like pick up again. It just doesn't
yeah,
work.
yeah,
Um, the comic's cool. I probably will keep reading it, especially if there's like another twist. And I know there's like 100 issues after this, so the fact that we're at this point of that quote unquote twist now, and there's not even 10% through it, that's exciting because where does it go from there? But the comics kind of suck. I don't know, and I find the writing in it too very dumb
yeah.
in the comic, especially like.
Hmm. I'll have to check out a few issues and see how I feel.
Yeah, I think, dude, the show does it so much better, and I
Yeah,
think if I hadn't watched the show and I just tried to read it, I wouldn't even have gotten to that episode 1 twist. Like, I wouldn't even gotten that far.
yeah,
It's like an issue 6 or something. I wouldn't even got there. No, it's you need to have that base of like, oh, this is actually interesting, to then read the comic and go, okay, now I can care
yeah,
because it's dumb. It's kind of dumb, unfortunately.
true
Not
story.
bad. And if you like comics, I'm sure you love it because you're dumb and you like to chew gum off the bottom of tables and whatever the fuck you do. I don't know what you people do. You don't have good taste. That's for sure.
Oh god,
Comics are garbage. The only good comic is Watchmen. That's it. Everything else is trash. Throw it away.
poor Ben.
There you go. Comics suck. I tried to read Saga. Got one issue, and I'm like, I don't need this.
Oh,
Everyone loves it.
I never was really deep into reading comic books. The only time I got into reading it was during the Marvel Civil War era and the mutant
Oh yeah.
registration thing, and then I was done. Then I was like, I don't need to read ever again.
I'm done with reading.
I'm done with
My
reading.
the issue with comics is I would love to read a book, like a Spider-Man book. That'd be really cool. Do
Oh
those
yeah.
exist? I don't think so.
I think they do like the
Maybe for like
graphic
kids,
novels now that are like,
but that's not. No, I want to read a book, or like Batman solving a crime that the Joker's doing in a book with fucking words and not just nonsense every
you don't want
5 pages.
pictures.
Ugh.
Anyways,
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done yelling about comics,
okay, cool.
and that's the news. Also, that's it.
That's it. Wrap it up.
Uh-huh.
Shall we go over our Outriders update?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go into games we played, everybody. So prepare your loins. You're gonna hear about some great games. Actually, don't. I think I'm level 11 on Outriders, which might be the last place I left off before
Okay.
our last episode, but I am enjoying it. I think it's really fun to play. I think the story's stupid, and I don't care
Oh, what was your
about
class?
it.
What was your class? Sorry.
I'm playing as a trickster,
Okay.
which I do really love. I love the different abilities I'm getting. I've got one now where I like spin around like a crazy person, and I'm just like
Yeah.
going like at one like he spins around like the Ninja Turtles from the game, from
Yes.
Turtles in Time, and so I just kind of move myself towards enemies and I'm killing them. That part's fun.
Huh.
The teleportability I'm using because it adds a shield buff, and then I hit them with the sword, which disintegrates them. So
Right. Right.
all in all, pretty cool. I think that I still like. I tried to listen to some of the story, and I was like, I don't care. Like, I have more fun playing the game and turning my brain off than I do thinking of trying to figure out what the story is and if I do want to care about it. The characters,
That's fair.
like some of the characters I've met and like throughout the missions, I'm kind of like, okay, that's cool.
Eh.
And then other ones, I'm just like, I don't care. Like
Mhm.
they're all just kind of lame. And apparently there's like a throwback to they reference something and I forgot it. They reference a game in one of their missions. Um Even the character's name. Oh, from Dragon Age. That's who it was. One of the characters is named like Alistair Colon or something like that. Or Colin Alistair, and that's like the name of the guy from Dragon Age, and it's a
Hmm.
direct like reference to Dragon Age, which is cool. And I was like, oh, that's neat. And then it made me think about how Monster Hunter has like Monster Hunter, which one? Rise has a quest that is line for line one of Macho Man Randy Savage's like
Oh, I saw
speeches.
that.
I was like, what the fuck? But I thought that was cool. Anyways, how are you finding yourself with Outriders?
I like the story. I do agree that it's nonsense. But it's fun to follow along with the nonsense, I've found.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it is that gameplay. It is the use the powers, run in there with your guns, get new loot, change it out, see how the loot updates your abilities and all that stuff.
Mm.
It's a very, very fun gameplay loop, and I really like the world tier system, which allows you. It was funny. I read there was some review that was like, "This game's really hard. Like, it's way too hard." And I'm like, "You can change the difficulty at any time. Like, what?" And it tells you, it encourages you to do it. The world tier system. So, like, you'd level up a bar to get to the next world tier, which levels up the enemies, but they drop better loot, etc.
Yeah.
So you could drop that down and then the enemies aren't as leveled up, and I've done that for a couple encounters, right, where I don't want to do this, let's tone it down. There's a couple boss fights, especially when you're playing solo. The boss fights don't feel very balanced for solo.
Yeah.
They'll like target you with their attack that does like over half your health, and they only have you to target, so they're just constantly trying to hit you with it,
Oh
and it
wow.
could become very frustrating. There's a fight, I guess, towards the middle. I don't know where it is in the game. Not the first volcano fight, boss fight, but there's another fight after that. It's like this dude is super annoying because he just can shoot you with like a kamehameha and hit you in the face, and now you have no life left. Um, but anyway, I really enjoy it quite a bit. I would have played more, but I'm playing other things.
Yeah.
So I'm level 20, World Tier 7. I just upgraded one of my machine guns to like a higher tier, added another thing to it. It's a lot of fun. It is so much fun, I think, to just the shooting feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good to run in there with your powers, keep using them. A lot of the cooldowns aren't super long, so you can just power through. It's not like, well, I did my turret and now I gotta wait a minute before I can do the turret again. They do a really nice job of that, and having three abilities at a time and being able to swap them out and how the abilities change with different um, weapon mods and things. Really cool. And even stuff like the weapon mods that affect not your abilities, but just the gun. It's like I have this gun that has um, an explosion will go off on the first shot. Or like every 2 seconds, an explosion will go off as you're firing it. So it's just a machine gun, and there's random explosions with it too. It just makes it a lot
Oh.
more fun.
Okay.
Uh, really cool abilities. I think we should play it someday. I don't know. I'll start a new character.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, I want to
Um,
get back to playing it. I heard there's a bug right now where your inventory can get deleted or you lose progress or something.
right. I
Which
don't know how that works.
yeah, I it just seemed like people were losing progress, which I was like, well, maybe I should wait a little bit before I get back in,
I
but
haven't had anything about that. And what people are losing is their inventory, right?
yeah.
Um, but every time I go into my inventory, like you'll finish a fight, right?
There's a ton
And
of
then you go into your
garbage.
inventory, and then I will look through it. If I don't need it, I'll dismantle it right there. So I never have anything in my inventory. So
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's ever been wiped or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're just used
Um,
to not having anything in there.
yeah, I'm used to not having because I'll go in there and just immediately get rid of shit if it's garbage.
Yeah.
Why would I keep it? So I think if you play like that, I don't think people are losing things they have equipped. So if you just play like that, you should have no problem.
Okay. I guess I'll jump
I mean,
back
why are
in.
you keeping shit? Who's keeping shit around?
I don't know.
I don't know. I kept one weapon because I might need it, but
There's like one gun I kept because I was like, well, I like the way this feels. and it's just a little bit weaker than this other one, so maybe I'll keep it and then like upgrade it.
Later, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's possible.
maybe.
But you're also level 11, so maybe you should just keep going.
Yeah, I just wanted to mess around with the crafting a little bit just so I kind of understood
Oh,
it
right.
better. And then from there I'm kind of like I think I messed around with one thing and I'm like, I don't care right now. Like most of the better items I'm gonna get anyway from like loot drops are gonna be better than what I'm crafting, so I'll just go.
Right. Yeah. The crafting's really cool. Super. I think this game does a great job of like a lot of the little systems around the core game, like the crafting, and when you dismantle guns, you'll get those mods, and then you can use those mods in the crafting. Like
Yeah.
it's a really really good loop that doesn't feel punishing to the player. It wants you to do this. It wants you to have a mod library of everything and pick and choose your build and all that. It's really cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um Tell
Mhm.
me about 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim.
Rim, yeah.
Fucking weird ass name.
So I'm 26 hours into this, as I wrote down. I'm nearing the end.
Okay.
Nearing the end. I don't know, maybe 5 hours left, maybe a little more. It's kind of hard to tell. Um, I think if I'd played this last year, it did come out last year. If I played it last year, it's possible that I would have put it as my game of the year.
Okay.
Um, it's possible. I might have still put Last of Us over it. I think this is one of the best games on the PS4, hands down. If you like anime at all, I don't know why you didn't play it yet, but if you like sci-fi, specifically sci-fi stories, play this fucking game. It is every sci-fi story all going on at once. You get to pick each, it's 13 different characters, and you can't just play through one in like a straight line. Um, it'll block them off and like, oh, you got to play this person's event so you can go over here. But I've been playing it where I play this person and then I move to another one, then I move to another one, then move to another one, and having all their stories progress at the same time and how they interact. And you'll get these moments where I was playing as this one character and he's stuck in this loop and he can't get out of it. And then he realizes like someone's forcing him into it. Like he's in like in a chair and they're doing experiments on him basically.
Oh,
And
jeez.
that's how he's stuck in this loop and he figures that out and he talks to him and then he gets thrown back into the loop. And then within the loop, he talks to other people that break him out of this loop and you'll be playing as some other character's story. And you'll get to a moment where, oh, I'm playing as the other character talking to this person in the loop. That's crazy. Uh, and other little moments like that, like as I near the end, right?
Yeah.
More and more of those moments start to appear where like, oh, that's what this person was doing, and that's this scene with that person, and it's really fucking cool. The way it does its story is so smart. Uh, at every turn, I mean, 20 hours into the game, I shouldn't be getting like, oh my god, like every hour. That shouldn't be happening, but it
Yeah.
it literally does. Every hour, there's some like really cool twist or plot change to it. It is such an amazing experience. I've loved it. It reminds me of binge watching a show, I guess, where I'll switch around all these characters and it's like next episode for you, next episode for you. And
Yeah.
it's almost like if you never saw any of the MCU movies and you're just like, okay, here's 20 movies for me to watch.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And they all interact with each other and the story is just bonkers. I talked about it last week where it's just every sci-fi thing at once, and it somehow pretty much works. Like there's some of it where I'm like, that doesn't, I don't really like that, but and then like other things will change, and you'll see these characters, and there are character reveals because like it's hard to talk about without spoilers, but there's people in this game that aren't who they say they are, but then there are people who are who they say they are, but they're on like a different timeline,
Hmm.
and it's so cool. Like if constant, constant, just cliffhanger exciting moments. I really have started to enjoy the combat and the strategy kind of element of that. It's still pretty easy, and I am going for the platinum, um, which should be at 30% of the people have the platinum who've played the
Oh,
game,
jeez.
which is it's
Okay.
very easy to
That's a gimme.
that it's a gimme, but it's gonna take some grinding at the end. But
Yeah.
it's pretty much it's a gimme.
Cool.
Uh, but a lot of fun. I cannot recommend 13 Sentinels enough. It is one of the best games on the PS4, hands down. Um, in terms of exclusives, yeah, like it's so good. It's so good. I would be playing more of it today, but I played like 8 hours yesterday. I feel like
Oh, wow.
maybe not that much, but
Yeah.
I played a lot yesterday, and I'm gonna take a break because I really like just having more of the game. I want to have more of it, and I'm excited to see how the plot ends up. I am worried that it's gonna tie everything up and it's not gonna make sense.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
I am worried. Like, okay, well, I got to go to the internet, and what the fuck happened exactly? Because
What happened here?
there's just because I won't go spoil it, but like there's timeline like different time periods, right?
Yeah.
And then there's people within time loops also, and they're moving around independently of all this stuff. So it gets really complicated
Yeah, that
in
sounds
terms of
complicated as hell.
yeah, and there's these people like, oh man, there's this reveal where it's like, oh, that person doesn't exist. Like, fuck, that person didn't exist, and I thought they existed for 20 hours.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no. And then this other is like, oh yeah, you're the only person who can see that person. Oh no. Oh no. And like even though because I think I talked about nanomachines last week, the reveal that there are nanomachines in this just changes how you think about everything in the fucking game, and transplanting AI into different bodies and androids. Oh my god, it's so fucking cool. I keep hitting this. Uh, it's so good. I can't say enough good things about it. And the art, I haven't even mentioned it. The art is beautiful. It doesn't look like pixel art or anything. It looks like paintings, like watercolor, not watercolor, but you know what I'm saying, like the kind of the light color palette of watercolors.
Yeah.
Um, paintings. It is beautiful. It's such a good game. I love it. So good.
Awesome. You're making me want to play it.
It's so good. I think you'd really like it. You like anime. You like Persona.
I do love me some anime.
I mean, it's right there. Get it. And it's probably going to be like probably 30 hours to beat it. It's not a super long
See
thing.
that sounds good to me. The time.
That's what I'm saying.
The
And
time it takes.
I'm going for the platinum, like trying to do extra shit, and I'm trying to piece together things. If you just wanted to run through it, yeah, easy 30 hours.
Cool.
So good.
All right.
Tell me about this Littlewood thing you got. I want to know what that means.
Littlewood, a game that gave me a Littlewood. So I've seen advertisements for this game like all over Steam, all over my Switch.
on Pornhub.
No, not quite. Although it might show up
Yeah,
there
that'd
now.
be funny.
Because it's like you like Stardew Valley, so you might like this. You know, it's one of those
Sure.
things. So I see it all the
makes
time.
sense.
Everywhere I go, it's like recommended. So I finally took the dive and got it because I was like, hey, I'm going on a trip. Might need something to play on the plane. And it's perfect for that. It's basically a story of you are a hero who has saved the world already. And you wake up in town, your old town, which was basically completely destroyed by whatever the dark wizard you were fighting. And you wake up, you don't really remember anything. So there's only like a couple people in town that know you, and they're like they slowly start reminding you of stuff from the past as you help rebuild your village. And so it's got the normal loop of like chop down trees to get wood and then turn those into planks, and then you use the pickaxe to get stone, which then you turn into brick. You use these items to craft buildings. So there's this marketplace where you sell stuff that you find, because you can like catch bugs, you can fish, you can find like rare stones and stuff like that while you're mining. And as you sell stuff at the marketplace, people come and visit. You get to meet new people. They might give you recipes for new crafting things, for cooking, or they might in general just give you like a quest. So you're just kind of like progressing through the game by crafting um whatever, like at first is like you craft whatever they tell you to craft. At a certain point, you can put a desk in each person's house that you've crafted a house for. And then when you go to their desk, each person has a list of items that they want you to complete. Like, oh, I want my house to be 16 spaces away from the tavern. So then you can actually like go into edit mode and move their stuff around. So that part's pretty cool. Like the game itself, it's just like a pleasant, calm game. It doesn't have like this like it still has like, oh, you'll run out of energy for the day or the time's up and your character's gonna fall asleep like Stardew Valley does, but you don't lose anything when you fall asleep in the middle of a cave.
Oh,
Or if you
okay.
get hurt enough to where like you're out of the cave, you don't lose anything. The time constraint on it doesn't seem that like crazy because there's not really anything like pressuring you. So you can kind of just go through a whole day of fishing and then that's it. Nothing's wasted because nothing really progresses forward until you go and progress it. Where Stardew Valley continues to like their lives go on without you.
Yeah.
So, but I've enjoyed it. It's a cool little game. I've probably got like 4 or 5 hours into it, and I'm gonna definitely put a lot more because it's on the Switch, so I can just kind of like lay in bed and play it. It's pretty nice. I would have put a lot more had my Switch not been dead on my flight.
Oh.
But yeah, I enjoy it. I think if anybody likes Stardew Valley, or like I guess any sort of farming fun game like Harvest Moon, things like that, Animal Crossing, whatever, you'll probably enjoy this. And it's like it used to be like $30 and now it's like $15, so it's totally worth it. Cool little game. It's on PC, it's on PS. I don't know if it's on PS4 actually, but it's on Switch for sure. And yeah, great little game. Littlewood. Tell me about Cozy Grove. Interested here.
Okay. Well, we did get a code for this.
We did from Pop Agenda. Thank you, Pop Agenda.
Right? Yeah. So this is like an Animal Crossing kind of game where you check in every day and see what your little Cozy Grove is doing. You're a little cozy scout. I don't know if that's what they're called, but you're like a little scout troop person who got sent to an island, and there's ghosts there, but they're like cute ghosts, and you're kind of helping them do weird little things. Um, I've played maybe 3 days update on this.
Okay. Bless you.
And I'm allergic to the game.
And he's allergic.
I would have played a lot more. The problem is I was playing 13 Sentinels.
Right.
And 13 Sentinels is amazing. And then also I'm playing Outriders. So I do want to play more of this. And I do like where it's going, where it's just super chill kind of, let me go over here and I can put a little light fixture or whatever. And this little camp, I like the aesthetic of camping and outdoorsy stuff. And when you help the ghosts, it like the art style is very plain until you help the ghost, and that area kind of expands outward. And it gets filled in and colored in and all that. I'm still wondering if there's like more to it, and I don't know. So I probably should play more as it develops, right? But it doesn't seem like I can do anything to the environment, like chop down trees or anything like that. There was like this bush I was able to destroy, but besides that, there's just a bunch of trees that I feel like are in the way. Uh, but the island kind of rearranges itself every day, also.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, it's the same, but not exactly the same, from what I understand. And so you'll just wander around, and people will give you little things like, "Oh, I lost my whatever," or "I need to deliver the mail." So there's ghost mail I need to find, and there's 3 letters on the island somewhere, and it's kind of just like a seek and find, almost like a Where's Waldo type of deal, and that's cool. I'm not good at Where's Waldo. This one person wanted me to find 5 feathers,
Oh, jeez.
and it really, with the art style, it is very difficult to tell what's pick upable and interactable. Uh, it there was like just stuff on the ground, on the beach, and I thought it was just stuff, but it turned out I could pick the shells up. and I didn't know that until I just accidentally tried, and I was like, "Oh, I can pick that up," because it does not look like it's not like Animal Crossing where it's like that very obviously should not be there.
Yeah.
There's other shit on this beach, and it's all cluttered, so it really feels like where's Waldo? Like, oh, there's a shell there. Oh wow, oh, I didn't even see it. It's right there, or the feathers, or little mounds of dirt that you can dig in to find other items. Uh, I just find a very hard time finding things sometimes. Like, oh, this is by the beach. I'm like, I can't see fucking anything, and I like it kind of goes against the chill nature of the game for me. It's like I'm missing one feather. I don't know where it is. And like I'm just done for the day. You know what? I can't find this feather.
Yeah.
Uh, I do like it. I just hope the whole game isn't can I find shit on the ground?
Yeah.
Because which I would enjoy. I would actually very much enjoy that. Uh, except I can't see anything because like the art style is really good, but most of the time it's not colored in,
Yeah.
like I was mentioning. And then when it's not colored in, it's really hard to see stuff, and it also doesn't look good, so it's not appealing to look through.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it needs like in a Resident Evil game where the items kind of have that glint of light on them.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It needs something like that on things I can pick up. Maybe not
Interesting.
that like big flashing light,
Yeah.
but something because I can't see shit on this ground. And I ran. There was one time I was just running around doing whatever, and then I ran by this one thing I'd walked by probably 5 times. It's like, oh, there's a leaf here I need. I didn't even see it. Like it's just too easy to miss stuff, and I feel like it goes against the calm nature of the game
Yeah.
to be just like really frustrated that I can't find shit. And granted, I can talk to the one cute bear ghost who will give me like for 100 coins, he'll tell me where something is. But that's a lot of coins. Like I have maybe 5,000 coins, which
Yeah.
sounds like a lot. But like to upgrade your stash and stuff is thousands of coins, and I'm not gonna spend 100 coins because I can't find this feather. Maybe I'll find it tomorrow. I don't know. And like I don't know if it's behind a tree
Yeah.
because there's fucking trees everywhere, and I can't get rid of the trees. So like I want to get rid of the trees. I want to see where it goes. And it is there's something to this, but it's tough to compete with two games that I'm really, really enjoying
Yeah.
and would
Yeah.
rather spend my time with. And it's also like a spend 30 minutes every day playing game anyway. So
Yeah.
it's gonna
Yeah.
it,
That's what
it
it's
makes
meant
you-
to be as. It seems like
yeah,
in their description for it, it was like a game that you check on every day. You don't play a whole lot of
right,
it. You just
right.
kind of check in on things. I
No.
was listening to the Giant Bees cast, and Alex on there talked about how it compares. It reminded him a lot to Spiritfarer,
Okay, yeah.
which is really good. And it sounds a lot like that, where you're like talking to ghosts and like doing stuff for them. It seems like you're
Hmm.
running around
You're,
doing
you're picking
shit.
stuff up off the floor, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested in seeing how it goes. I haven't heard
Yeah,
much else about it other than that. So
well, I'm gonna keep playing it for sure. Because after 13 Sentinels, I'm done with my PlayStation. So then I'll just be on my PC and I
let's
can
go
focus on
chuck it out the window.
on that. Yeah, fucking
Cool. Well, let me give you my Dark Souls update
yes,
because I'm excited to talk about it because I think we might be pretty close to the end here.
we are.
So
We are.
I went to the Crystal Caves
Got it.
and was able to make it down to Seth or Seath, the Scaleless.
Right.
Now, this time he didn't just kill me. I beat the shit out of him.
Good.
Just cut his tentacles. He didn't kill me once, so boom, he was gone.
Oh yeah, he's easier.
Yeah.
For sure.
So then I go to the Arno Londo ruins where all the ghost people are.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, this time through, because this is my third time visiting this area. The first time it was just to get the
Right. item.
soul.
Yeah.
The soul to like reinforce my Estus. The second time was because I wanted to get uncursed. So I wanted to go up to the guy that stands on the roof.
You went to him to get uncursed?
I didn't. I couldn't make it to him
Okay, I was
because
gonna
of
say,
just like the constant bombardment of the ghost ladies.
it's difficult.
So this time, freaking breeze, because I'm so leveled up and my sword's
Right.
leveled up that one swipe they're dead. So it was easy to just group them all up, have them all come after you at one point, and just like
Oh,
Yeah. And so I got through that part. I got the key to like twist the lever to open up the dam or whatever to let the water out.
Oh, the door, yeah.
I got my ring for the abyss, so I went down that long ass stairwell. The first time I didn't have it on, so I just fell to my death.
God damn it.
Second time I did have it on,
Okay.
and that's because I went and read the description because I didn't realize. I'm like, oh, here, this makes sense.
Right.
And I fought the 4 kings, killed them.
Wow.
That one was actually quite easy.
Really?
Yeah, I just kept running up to them, and then I would just do the circle, circle
okay.
around them, and they hit me a few times here and there, but I probably only used like 3 or 4 Estus for that fight.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's really good.
And so from there, I went back to Firelink Shrine, and I think I go through. The next part said something about Valley of the Drakes, I think, when I was like, because I looked at the guide and I was like, because I don't know where the fuck to go next. So I was like, oh, I think it's Valley of the Drakes, but then it's like this whole other area.
That's not where you should go.
Okay, cool. So I just left them. I left myself at Firelink Shrine. I figured I'd save the rest maybe for the next Dark Souls stream because I think we're like right near the end.
We're very close. I can give you some stuff to do to like update the Estus 3 times.
Okay.
And upgrade your weapon, and that'd be the only stuff you could do before the next stream, and then we could finish it next week.
Okay, I could probably go after. I could probably pull up a list and go after some of those to reinforce.
Yeah, the Estus flash shards. You have one in the Duke's archives that you should have got a key for that we kind of were talking about last time we did it.
Okay, I'll have to go back there.
And then there's 2 other ones that are pretty easy to get.
You'll have to let me know which ones those are.
Yeah, I'd have to look up a list. So. Okay. Next time you play, just tell me.
I did get my sword up to I think plus 5. Yeah, because I did upgrade it.
That should be max.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then I'm wearing all of my black knight iron armor or whatever. So I did switch my armor around. I'm like level 84, 85.
Seems about right, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty high. But yeah, I'm loving that game, man. It's
really good.
I could see myself replaying it too, so it's pretty fun.
You're at the end.
Pretty fun. And then Resident Evil 7.
Finally, I'm gonna start that after Outriders.
Okay.
So perfect time.
Cool. Do I have any other games? I'm trying to think. I did So I didn't do the fighter pass thing because I had already purchased like separate fighters, which is not the smartest way to do it, which is fine.
No.
Which is fine because now when I look at the list of like fighters left to buy, it's like 3, and it's 3 that I don't really care to buy.
All right.
So over time, I've just like bought them, but I bought I think it was Priya and the other lady.
Pyra and Mithra. Yeah.
Pyra and Mithra. I don't know.
Mithra.
Who else did I buy? I forgot who else I bought, but I'm looking to maybe kick up some Super Smash Bros. Again and play a little bit with the new characters I got. Did I get Banjo? I might have got Banjo. That might have been an accident.
Banjo's good.
I don't know. I don't have love for Banjo the way other people do.
That's fine.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for games we played. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, I'll talk about anything else next week.
Cool. All right. Well, Ben, I think that'd be a perfect time to wrap it up. So thanks again to all the listeners, all the new followers, people subbing to the podcast channels where you can find us on Spotify, on Stitcher, on Apple, on Google Podcast services. You can also head over to thegamefanatics.com. Look for us there. Make sure if you have a chance to follow us on Twitch. We're trying to hit 130. We're 5 followers away, so we can get some Drunk Souls going on. But also, we would love for you guys to join us in chat whenever we record the show or play any games live. So look out for that notification, or just look out for the tweets coming from my Twitter at the Joelness, usually because I forget to tweet them from the @FinalCheckPod account. So my bad. But yeah, that's going to do it for us this week. Thanks again, everybody. Make sure you check out the old episodes as well. There's a lot of good guest episodes that I highly recommend, as well as some spoiler casts, including Fire Emblem 3 Houses and The Last of Us Part 2. So that's it for me. Ben, any last words?
Nah.
That's good.
Nah.
Nah.